Have you ever had a big fight with someone? Maybe you and your best friend needed some time away from each other. Or maybe you needed a little break from your brother or sister. How did this conflict impact your relationship with that person? You probably had to apologize and make things right. Just like conflicts affect our relationships, a huge conflict between two empires, the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire, greatly impacted world history. You've learned about these empires before. Take a second to remember what you learned about them. Maybe you remember that the Roman Empire was split into two halves. Initially, Rome was the capital, but Emperor Constantine moved the capital of the Eastern Roman Empire to Byzantium, later renamed Constantinople. This city became the capital of the Byzantine Empire. Like siblings, or BFFs, these two empires had some big arguments. But their biggest argument came from something that these two empires actually had in common: Christianity. Eventually, this dispute would turn into a dramatic breakup we now call the Great Schism. Schism is a key vocabulary word in this lesson. What do you think it means? A schism is a divide between groups of people based on difference of opinion or belief. So, why did Christianity divide these two empires? Sounds like a world history mystery question we need to solve. Why did Christianity split into two branches, and how did this affect European history? While you're watching, don't forget to pause the video and follow the guided notes in your PDF. Okay, historians, ready to solve this mystery? Let's go. Before we can learn about the beef between the Roman and Byzantine empires, we need to learn about how Christianity became so important to them. Christianity, as a belief system, got its start in the ancient Roman Empire around the 1st century CE. Followers of Christianity believed that Jesus Christ was the Son of God, and through word of mouth and religious centers called monasteries, Christianity spread quickly. The Roman government did not approve of this new religion at first. Roman religion was still ruled by the Roman gods of old, gods like Juno, Jupiter, and Minerva. But people were drawn to Christianity's promise of heaven and a personal relationship with God. Christianity grew in popularity until Constantine the Great became the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity. It wasn't long before Christianity was declared the official religion of both the Roman Empire and the Byzantine Empire. But these two empires, much like competitive siblings, had to one-up each other. So each empire established their own religious headquarters, each with their own Christian leader. In the Roman Empire, Christians followed the Pope in Rome. In the Byzantine Empire, the Patriarch in Constantinople was the leader. Before we continue, let's pause and make a prediction. What problems might arise now that there are two Christian leaders? Pause the video and answer this question in your PDF. Now that we know how Christianity became so important to these empires, let's dive into the causes of the Great Schism. It's helpful to think about the causes of this big breakup in two categories: political conflicts and religious conflicts. Political conflicts between the two empires were all about power. The Roman and Byzantine empires disagreed about who should have full authority over the Christian church. The Roman Empire, of course, thought the Pope in Rome should be the one calling the shots. Why do you think the Byzantine Empire might have disagreed with this? Well, the Byzantines had their own leader in Constantinople, the Patriarch, and thought he was the true Christian leader. These empires argued about this for centuries. Can you imagine arguing with a friend for that long? Do you think you would still be friends after that? The other causes of the Great Schism were religious conflicts. You see, because they developed different languages and cultures, Christian practices in the Roman and Byzantine empires developed very differently. These differences, however small, led to some pretty big arguments. For example, the Byzantine Empire believed that Christians shouldn't worship religious images, like paintings of Jesus Christ. The Pope and the Roman Empire, meanwhile, saw no problem with these images. Other smaller religious conflicts made these two empires slowly drift apart. They argued over what type of bread to use in church ceremonies, whether priests could be married or not, and over the exact words they should use in prayer. Eventually, these small conflicts boiled over into a dramatic falling out. In 1054, the Patriarch and the Pope excommunicated each other. What do you think excommunicated might mean? Excommunicate means to officially kick someone out of the Christian faith. This basically means the Pope and the Patriarch unfriended each other. These excommunications proved that the divide between the western and eastern halves of Christianity was too wide to fix. And this divide is what we now call the Great Schism. All right, let's make another prediction. What effects might this huge divide in the Christian faith have on the Roman and Byzantine empires? Pause the video and answer this question in your PDF. Because of the Great Schism, the Christian Church now had two branches, the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church. This breakup had a major political impact, especially on the Byzantine Empire. The biggest effect of the Great Schism was that, without its sibling, the Byzantine Empire was a lot weaker. This mattered because the Byzantines had some pretty powerful neighbors, like the Seljuk Turks and the Ottoman Empire, who were thriving and trying to expand into Byzantine territory. So, guess what the Byzantine emperor did? He asked the Pope for help. After all that conflict and drama, do you think you would help him if you were the Pope? Surprisingly, the Pope actually agreed to help the Byzantines. The Pope wanted to protect Holy Christian land from expanding Muslim empires, who also viewed the land as sacred. The wars that followed are called the Crusades, and you'll learn more about that in a future lesson. But the schism between the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church was too great. Because of religious and political tensions, soldiers from Western Europe, called Crusaders, conquered Constantinople in 1204, an event historians now call the Sack of Constantinople. The Byzantines later took back their city, but this betrayal only made the schism grow wider and the Byzantine Empire weaker. Later, against the Ottomans, this schism sealed the Byzantine Empire's fate. In 1453, the Ottoman Empire took over and isolated and weakened Constantinople. This event, called the Fall of Constantinople, officially ended the Byzantine Empire. All right, historians, I think we have enough evidence to answer our world history mystery question. Why did Christianity split into two branches, and how did this affect European history? Pause the video and answer this question in your PDF. Okay, ready to see how you did? Let's look at the evidence from the video that we can use to solve this case. To explain why Christianity split into two branches, remember the causes of the Great Schism. Political conflict between the Pope and the Patriarch over being the leader of Christianity, religious differences between the two empires due to language and cultural differences, And finally, the excommunications between the Pope and the Patriarch. As for how the schism affected European history, remember that this divide permanently established two separate Christian branches. This led to a weaker Byzantine Empire that was vulnerable to attacks from expanding Muslim empires like the Seljuk Turks and the Ottoman Empire. With devastating events like the sack of Constantinople and later the fall of Constantinople, the Byzantine Empire came to an end. Though the Byzantine Empire's chapter in history is over, the story of the relationship between these two branches of the Christian Church still continues. To this day, both sides are making efforts to heal their relationship. Just like the relationships in our lives, it's never too late to make amends, right? Next time, we revisit the Byzantines' plea for help, the Pope's response, and how this all led to a series of wars called the Crusades. Until then, keep exploring the past and shaping the future, and remember to always be clever.
Hey, hey.